I am Laura A. Grace, and I am a manga creator, but I'm not an illustrator. Welcome back to my video series about me sharing my story of being a manga creator who's not illustrating, but has an upcoming manga releasing later this year. I'm really excited for this manga series. If you're curious about sort of my story of getting into manga, why I wanted to be a manga creator, definitely check out my first video that I did. It also sort of explained what to expect with this manga series. I thought, however, before moving forward of sharing more about my manga Gathering Faith, that it would be a good idea to sort of talk about like what is my deal or what is my big deal with Clean Manga? Why do I emphasize it? I had brought it up in the previous video of sharing my thoughts on it and why it is sort of like my mission to share the Clean Manga. I'm not sure where to start, guys. I have tried 3 times already to start with what I wanted to say, and I'm just not sure where to begin. Please bear with me if this feels a little bit rambly. So I guess starting off, I was raised in a household from a Christian worldview, and I was definitely taught, or it was encouraged, or just it was around me a lot that manga was more or less evil. And I feel so bad saying that now because it's just not true. That's such a horrible generalization about such an awesome way of storytelling. But I was raised with that kind of perspective, and it just sort of kept going as I got older. But then my best friend lived next door at that time, and she invited me over to a sleepover, and she had manga. She introduced me to a few different volumes, and I was hooked. But I didn't, for whatever reason, go out and buy any manga, even though I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it's just because she was the only person I know who was basically like an otaku and didn't have any other support to go out and read this kind of storytelling. I came to a point where I was like, I am ready to read manga. But I was like, this time, I was like, I'm going to ask for Clean Manga recommendations and see, like, can I actually read manga? Like, I'm so excited. I want to read it. And I got some amazing recommendations. I didn't do all of them. I still remember them. It was Library Wars and Kitchen Princess. And reading Library Wars was the introduction to, in my opinion, the clean manga world. But what exactly do I find as clean? I realize that clean can be a really relative term. It can change from person to person. So I feel for me personally that a manga is clean if it has 0 to very little fan service and does not have very strong sexual overtones. There's no on the page sex scenes. Just don't feel comfortable with it. I feel like it takes away from the storytelling as a whole, and especially I feel like it takes away from the romance. I realize not everyone may not agree with that, but that is just how I personally feel. I also would say that there's no F-bombs, there's no very strong language, and I would also say that there's no gory or strong violence. I would say that is my personal definition of clean and my own standard to share clean manga with other people. Now, I was hooked. After I read Library Wars, guys, I was just so excited and ready to dive into the manga reading world. I felt like it stirred the embers like, hey, I might have been led to believe that manga is just full of sexual overtones, that all you get is fan service, but that's just not true. Like, the manga that I have shared on this channel, guys, is clean manga. It's manga that I feel comfortable recommending and sharing, and I am very passionate about that. As I've interacted with more people, especially those that are in my writing-based communities and such, I am finding that there are more of us who really love manga, but for personal reasons that just don't feel comfortable reading about fan service. And the thing is I felt like I needed to read through manga that went against my convictions in order to find those goodies or those clean manga, and that's really just not true. Yes, you may have to do a lot of work and you might have to read reviews and spoil the book for yourself, but it takes time and it is possible. When I discovered these things and was realizing these things, that I was like, wow, this is so exciting. But I also was like, I want to add to the realm of clean manga. That passion that I had, as I mentioned in my previous video, of just wanting to cosplay and chat with other manga readers came back full force. I was like, I am really wanting to write manga. And I want people to be able to enjoy it and then feel it doesn't go against their convictions and that they could give it to their kids and not have any worry that they might see something inappropriate. And not only that, I have heard from many writers that it's important to read books in your genre. Granted, I feel like manga is not necessarily a genre. There's genres in manga, but I feel like it's a very certain way of storytelling. And especially for me, not being an illustrator, it's really important that I'm familiar with manga. I feel like, for me to fully understand of how to do like the paneling and how to get that flow of storytelling, that I need to be reading it. Because even though, yes, I definitely agree that you can read novels and a novel could be turned into a manga, I do think it's important to have some kind of understanding of manga as a whole. I admit that the manga that I have written up to this point do not fit in any kind of certain said genre, and they don't have a lot of the manga tropes I've seen, but I love my story very, very much, and I'm really excited to be sharing more in depth next week just about Gathering Faith, about sort of what the catalyst was to start writing it, and all of those things. It is such a very special story to me, but I felt it was important to sort of share about what I feel clean manga is, why it's a big deal to me, and I just love manga. I mean, for many of us, I think when we first get into manga, we become like hooked. So definitely be encouraged, my friends. There are so many eager and excited manga readers out there. I mean, I feel like we're always constantly devouring things. And if you're like me and you're like, I really love clean manga, please go check out some of my other videos. I'm consistently sharing clean manga that I am reading and reviewing and gushing about all of the things, because I get it, guys. I really do. I get it, friends. When you just want to read a story that just doesn't go against your convictions or make you feel dirty or feel ashamed or anything like that, I get it. I am just so excited to connect with you. I hope that this video series will just bless you guys regardless of what you're writing, whether we see eye to eye on what clean manga is and the need for clean manga. I just hope that this will be something that encourages you, because friends, we need your story, we need your manga. So stay encouraged, be encouraged, and keep writing your manga. See you, friends, next Tuesday. I'm so excited to be sharing about my own personal manga, and I hope you guys have a great week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you don't want to miss the next video, be sure to hit that bell icon so you can get a notification of when the video is ready and live. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!